Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, Mike Maniscalco, Bally Sports, Canes play-by-play. So, yeah, Antti Raanta's in net. We knew that was going to happen based on Game 1. So let's go advancement theory, Mike. If the Canes win tonight and Raanta looks good, who's starting Friday on the island?
Well, again, you're going to, I think, go with the same options that we had before Game 1. No matter who you choose, it'll be the right answer for Carolina. I hope you like how I'm hedging the bet here on this.
Yeah, that's good. That's good coach speak, Mike.
The funny thing about it, Joe, and I've thought about it, is there's 3 ways that this plays out here tonight. So Antti Raanta plays well and, shuts down the Islanders again. It becomes the no-brainer. You give them Game 3 and you go from there. Antti Raanta doesn't win tonight. Well, you go to Freddie Andersen in Game 3 because, again, goaltender rotation. That's what the Hurricanes have done all year. Or Antti Raanta wins tonight, heavy workload. You then can go to Frederik Andersen. But if he plays well tonight, odds are he is going to be the guy who starts Game 3. But my gut feeling, and again, not that they tell me anything, my gut feeling is you're going to see Frederik Andersen play a game in this series. Vikings have handled their business this year. They've relied on all of the goaltenders, whoever it was at the time, whatever the tandem is, they were going to give somebody a game and not ride somebody 6 or 7 games in a row.
Yeah. See, look, we all understand that co-captains was a disaster. I mean, it really was the cherry on top of the Bill Peters crap Sunday experience. But who's to say? Because they had a home captain and an away captain. I'm trying to sell this, Mike. You got a home goalie and a road goalie. Because Raanta's been unbelievable at home, so why don't you just keep that thing going, man?
Well, I think you can 100% sell that if you want to. I mean, if you include his postseason win, he is 12-0-1 at home this year. He has not had a regulation loss. So
unreal, man.
We can throw out the 0-1. I know now I just said it and evidently speak it into existence.
Oh, stop it, Mike. That stuff is bad. Mike Maniscalco joining us. I'll never forget. Mike Sunheim can back me up on this. I remember I think it was 2009. I want to say it was 2006. It was 2006. I inadvertently talked to Cam Ward the day of a game when I shouldn't have talked to Cam Ward because you don't talk to goalies the day of during availability. He's like, they're just superstitious. He had a shutout that night. So I immediately went to Sunheim and said, so I get to talk to Cam Ward every day, right? I was like, no, that's not how it works. So this goalie stuff, you're not speaking anything to existence, man. You're fine. Don't sweat.
No, and I mean, I'm with you. I would have no problem if they say Frederik Andersen is the goalie they go with on the road. I mean, again, and it goes back to 52 wins, guys. 52 wins, everybody who's listening. And they basically did it with a rotation for 90% of the season. Yeah. So, and look, the way that the Islanders play, this is what we saw in Game 1 is what we're going to see the rest of the series, no matter how long or short it goes.
Giglio's been so patient. I'm so proud of Giglio. He's just patiently waiting. He's turning red because he's been holding it in, but he's ready.
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to get you in trouble, and I'm trying to ask this in the best way possible. Like, when we think about football coaches, right? Like, if you were to say to me, hey, how many times has Dave Doran made a mistake? I could probably list his top 10 mistakes, right? Rod Brendamore's in year 5. I legitimately can't, off the top of my head, sit here and tell you Rod Brindamore made a mistake in games, this, that, and the other, right? Like, you can't do it off the top of your head. The guy has been meticulous. He's been unbelievable. If he were to have a 2-0 series lead and then went to Long Island and changed the goalie and then lost that game, it would be like he'd be trying to make up for the 5 years of perfect answers and intentionally tanking on a test. Like, what? I just refuse to believe either one. And I know you guys are being serious. And I know what it's based on.
Yeah.
You're not tweaking me. I just absolutely refuse to believe that if the Canes go up 2-0, Rod's going to wear the same underwear. Like, he's not changing that. He's not going to change the goalie.
I mean,
my brain hurts.
I'm going to try to field the question that's in there. Which is
the question was, can you even remember Rod Brindamore making a coaching mistake?
No, that's the funny thing. I can't. I mean,
you've called all the games.
Off the top of my head, he has literally pushed the right button every time when you're like,
it's amazing.
Why would you do that? So this is where I'm going to try to assuage your fear here. If he goes with that, there has to be a reason for it in his mind, as that's to why you do that. And now I'm going to be telling a tale, and it's not mine because I wasn't around the team for the run, but the first Stanley Cup run.
Mm-hmm. 02.
We were talking about this with Paul Maurice the other day in Florida. Mm-hmm. So the Canes, they're playing New Jersey, and Artur Zerbe steals the first two games. Like, actually steals, both, and they're going to New Jersey. And this is a story told by Tripp Tracy, so Tripp should tell it. But Jim Rutherford tells Paul Maurice, but Paul backed this story, so I can now tell it with the knowledge it was directly said to me. Jim Rutherford goes, I think you should start Kevin Weeks in game 3. And Mo goes, the only reason we're up 2-0 is because of Artur Zerbe. What are you thinking of here?
Yeah.
And he starts Zerbe and they lose. And he goes, I think you should start Kevin Weeks in game 4. And he starts Archie again. And now the series is tied at 2. And then Mo starts Kevin Weeks in game 5. And then the rest, as they say, is history as the Canes go on. But I'm just saying, there's some people who are going to sit there and tell you, you can't because you've won 2 games, and how in the world? Maybe the play is you go to the other guy, because you know what? Now the other team has got to be like, maybe they found a hole, or maybe they found something that they're comfortable with that they were going to get ready to exploit. Now you got to try to shoot on Frederik Andersen for 60 minutes and see where he's at. So again, this is going to be a question, guys, till it's not. Giglio, you are 100% within the right to say what you've just said. And there's no way that I can combat that and squash that and say, how dare you?
Yeah.
No, you're legit, because that's the way it's been done forever. But I just think the way that this team does things, the way that they've gotten here, is they don't follow the pattern that everybody else in the NHL has followed for eternity.
Mike Maniscalco, Canes play-by-play, Bally Sports, joining us here on the OG alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies. All right, let's get to the other reason why the Canes won Game 1 and the sustainability of that. That was scoring on the power play.
I thought you were going to say Brent Burns.
Well, he's part of the power play. It's all collectively, right? Isn't that the slogan? Yeah. Collectively. It all worked out. But I know what this team has been all year when it comes to the power play. So was Game 1 like, hey, we finally got the ball rolling here, let's keep the vibes doing their thing, or was that more of an anomaly based on what we've seen from the team so far?
I would love to tell you that, no, we're going to see this the rest of the way through, but the Islanders have a great penalty kill. They were 9th in the regular season, and in game they made an adjustment. They saw, okay, Brent Burns is doing this. Well, we've got to take Brent Burns away. Canes go 0 for 2 on those. I think that this is one of these things where water finds its level. Do I think the Hurricanes will be 50% throughout the playoffs on the power play? Fingers crossed, yes.
Yeah, if that's the case, then we'll be talking in June.
Yeah, right? I'll be talking to you guys for a long time answering the goalie questions. But no, I think that it was the right start you wanted to get to, and I think that goes into, again, coaches looking at videotape, finding things that they can exploit. The Canes got to that. But do I think that the Canes can get a power play goal a game against the Islanders? Yeah, I do believe they can do that.
Mike Maniscalco, Carolina Hurricanes, joining us here on the Heistra Automotive Group hotline. That's Joe Ovies. I'm Joe Giglio. All right, Mike, am I hallucinating, or are the Islanders like crazy top heavy? And I know it's not the same as the Rangers. I know it's not the same as the Bruins. But I loved the way that Jordan Stahl's line played against the Horvat and Barzal line. And I could see the Canes controlling them here in this building based on the shift. But I can also see that group finding a little daylight when they get back home. Am I misremembering the Boston and Rangers series, or is Jordan Stahl kind of doing it again on home ice?
No, that's what he does. And that's why even though, what is it? The road teams are 7-1 so far in this postseason, or 6-2.
Yeah, holy smokes! Seattle last night was crazy.
Yeah,
they were flying.
Last night, all the road teams won.
The thing about the postseason, I think it's 6-2. The thing about home ice advantage in the playoffs is exactly what you just said, Giglio. It's you get Jordan Stahl out against Horvat and Barzal. So you go back
to
Anders
Lee. I can't even remember his name. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's that's it, and that's the series. And you're right. And that's why when the Islanders go home, you try to get that matchup away. Where the Canes do have an advantage, though, is the defensive pairing, because they're always going to see either Brett Pesce and Brady Shea or Brent Burns and Jacob Slavin. So you can get them away from Stahl. But that, to me, is the value of Jordan Stahl. You don't hear Bo Horvat's name. You don't hear Matt Barzal's name when they're on the ice against Jordan Stahl, Jesper Fast, and Jordan Martinook right now. So, no, you're not hallucinating anything. That's it. And if the Islanders have that one offensive threat up front 5-on-5, it's that grouping. But if they got to go up against Jordan Stahl, good luck with that, because that's the line that hangs on to the puck and makes life miserable.
I also thought that forward line, Mike, was the Canes' most effective. I don't know if it was just puck possession or if there were actual, I'm not going to pretend that I go to like Bart Torvik of hockey.com for the
Natural
high danger chances, my friend. I just know to you that Jesper Fast and Martinook were buzzing, and I thought Jordan was controlling the puck. Did you see a better group on the Canes side than those?
I really did like the Jesperi Kotkaniemi line. I really did. They didn't get rewarded with a goal, but that was a line when you go back and watch just how he's matured as a player this year. He took advantage of the matchups. Stefan Nason's stick blade goes in the net instead of the puck. But I mean, that was just a great shift. They had 4 or 5 shifts where they could have been rewarded with a goal. But again, if it's going to be this group, and Ovies, you said it earlier, it's the collective. It's not the one. But there were no passengers in game 1, and I think that's the way it's got to be. But the best line, I mean, if you're going to rank them, the Stahl line, I think, had the best night, like the A night. But Kotkaniemi's group, you get Sebastian Aho going. They had a couple of really good chances. There's so many things to like about how the team played in game 1, other than they didn't get a 5-on-5 goal, which is something I think if they can crack the Islanders tonight with a 5-on-5 goal, we'll see what that puts the series the rest of the way.
Mike Maniscalco, Bally Sports, play-by-play. Catch him, obviously, on television. But if you're driving around, running errands, running late, we've got that game here on 99.9 The Fan starting up at 6 o'clock. Hour-long Storm Watch with Adam Gold. And then we got the game aftermath immediately following the game. And then we got the Canes Corner podcast brought to you by the Aluminum Company. I know you miss the days of those aftermaths, Mike. I know you do.
Oh, you have no idea how many times I wake up in a cold sweat, missing those
one
days.
of your episodes, the dark Kane years.
No, you guys. It's funny. We've been talking about a brief history of Triangle Sports, and I've got some things in the fire, and I've talked to Mike about this. Unfortunately for Mike, we have to talk about the dark days.
Oh. By the way, the hashtag Pray for Maniscalco t-shirt still exists. And my better half wears it as a sleep shirt. And honestly, it's her favorite sleep shirt ever.
Thank good. I'm glad that t-shirt is still useful.
I will maybe I'll snap a picture.
All right. Would love to see that. Mike Maniscalco, play-by-play. All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.